a big moment for our museum. We've had many over the last 22 years, and it's always, really special to celebrate a major milestone. As we really started when one of my colleagues, Bob Farnsworth, who is our Senior Vice President of Capital Projects, he's the person that's been in charge of building this campus for the last 20 years. He came back from a vacation in the south of France, and while he had been in the south of France, had seen this sound and light show. I think it was in an old bauxite mine, projecting these beautiful works of art. And he came back, and he was very persistent and tenacious about this idea of us having this outdoor sound and light experience on our campus. Now, you got to remember, this is 2015. You look out on the campus today, you see the parade ground that some of you were on last night, you see all of these buildings. New Orleans is a wonderful place to visit. There are many things to do. It is a very different place to visit at nighttime than it is during the day. And the vast majority of what we do is targeted towards getting people to come to our campus during the day. I think we believe now for the first time, we are going to have a real destination attraction that will draw people to our museum in the evenings and just add another, must-see experience for folks that come to New Orleans. So for us, this is exciting. I think, in the evenings, New Orleans becomes about food, entertainment, music. A museum visit, really anywhere in the world is not something that typically happens at nighttime. Now we think we've got an experience that will really open the door and bring people to our campus and their experiences during the war. We have always been about highlighting personal stories. I think what is a little bit different with Expressions of America is that it uses materials that were created during the war. So if you walk around our campus, you go to Beyond All Boundaries, the Campaigns Pavilion, you will see a lot of oral history. These were primarily stories that were collected decades after the war. Expressions uses the words and the thoughts and the feelings of people while the war was happening. Important tasks we had to get to opening day today was that building had to be built. There had to be a building there to project on. And of course, we had to have the parade ground complete. At this time next year, we will open the Liberation Pavilion. And the Liberation Pavilion, the centerpiece, the pointy beak of the building, we did change the materials. That was originally going to be a concrete precast prow, and we realized that the material that we used, the paneling that's on the building now, would actually be a much better surface for the projection. So we did make a tweak to the materials, but certainly the campus was not designed for an outdoor sound and light show. That was a decision that came much later. Off to the left-hand side and sort of looking across. If you're sitting on the other side, you have a very different perspective. So they had to model this and think about the sequence of images you will see based on where you're sitting. So it's not just like creating one show, it's actually more like creating 3 or 4, depending on where you sit and how the images complement each other. So great destinations in the world. And I think we've always felt that, for 20 years, we've added a new dimension to what it means to visit New Orleans. And I think like any great destination, you always need new things for people to do. You always need new reasons for people to come back to New Orleans. And I think this is certainly not the only sound and light show that exists, but I think we believe we've created something fairly unique, combining this technology with the music, the story, the setting. I think we really believe we've created something that in itself will become a destination.